users out there and players and whoever is using your technology wants to try new things, wants to use more efficient ways, wants the new games, wants the new bonus structures, wants the last beautiful new thing.
You're listening to 15M Mastery, a show that empowers you with insights from the leading iGaming experts to enhance your personal or business performance. The show is brought to you by tech-driven affiliate and media company Already Media, and supported by the AI-powered data analytics platform Blask. Yo Investments, a fund manager investing in outstanding people who are disrupting the iGaming, fintech, and crypto industries. And BC Game, the multi-award-winning crypto casino with a player-centric approach. Hey everyone, and welcome back to 15M Mastery. Today we're joined again by Richard Mifsud, CEO and founder of XPRIZO, and fintech innovator transforming iGaming payments. Richard has pioneered the use of AI and blockchain to transform how payments work in online gambling. In this episode, we will explore how emerging technologies are actually changing the future of iGaming payments now. Welcome back, Richard.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, as I mentioned, I'm a big fan of technology, and AI is probably one of my personal favorite topics. So I'm very excited about this episode. And let's start with the first question. So AI drives your transaction monitoring, as far as I know, and what specific threats can actually machine learning detect that traditional systems would miss?
Yeah, very good question actually. So basically, the biggest limitation in transaction monitoring, and as is with many other things, is the human nature, right? So basically, people looking at transactions, people looking at behavior, and so on. So you're always relying on what one can see, and even the mood of the person. I mean, sometimes you're a bit more, like you don't like something, and sometimes you're in a better state of mind, so you might let things go and so on. Whereas when you're using machine learning and AI, there's no human touch, right? So it can be even more fair and it can be even more precise. So basically, when you're giving criteria to the AI model to look at transaction monitoring, to look at transaction patterns, to look at patterns coming from different regions, from different people, from different times of the week, different times of the month. So it can be much more scientific, and you can pinpoint more patterns. Now, with that patterns, you could look at threats, you could look at abuse, you could look at fraud, but you can also look at giving benefits to your users, right? Also, you can look at giving different offers to your users, because you can see that down days there's no traffic and so on. You can then give offers on those to balance your traffic. So the use of AI is very, very interesting, especially in this fintech space, because it will bring much more benefits to the end user to start with, and much more benefits to the merchants themselves, like us, right? So yeah, I think it's very interesting topic, and we can obviously keep talking about it for days and days on end, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like with the emerging markets, you guys are focusing on a lot. The scalability could be an issue with like hundreds of millions of people. And AI is probably one of the most effective ways in how to scale the process you just mentioned.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly it. Because once you're looking at an emerging market, you have low value, high volume transactions, right? So, but still, in low value, fraudsters and so on can come in with a number of transactions, smaller ones rather than fewer bigger ones. Now, that's trickier to monitor with people. You need a team of thousands of people looking at all the different transactions, whereas in AI, you can have a couple of decently sized servers with good models and everything, and then you cover it basically.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So let's talk a little bit about the blockchain because, historically for iGaming, blockchain and crypto became pretty much identical, but in reality, it's not. So let's talk about the blockchain. So how blockchain is actually changing cross-border payments in iGaming and what problems does it solve for operators?
Yeah, I think there again, what blockchain is solving is industry independent, I would say, right? Because what is solving for iGaming, it's solving for any other industry, but primarily what's solving is removing the middleman, right? So one of the biggest challenging challenges in payments traditionally was different middlemen across a transaction. So when you're looking at correspondent banking, you're looking at the banking systems, the banking approvals, etc., where a bank transfer could take you a week, sometimes even more, and then it gets stuck in the middle, etc., etc. So when you're using a blockchain to make a transfer, it's from one person to another, from one company to another. So it's direct and it's practically instant. So where if it's cross border, if it's to the guy sitting next to me, it's irrelevant because it's on the blockchain, right? So I think the speed is one of the main things that it's solving, and also the verification, right? Because blockchain is relying on technology to verify your payments rather than relying on people again. Because when you're making a bank transfer, sometimes, as we all know, it's relying on a person looking at the transaction and approving it from a correspondent bank, the bank receiving bank, etc., etc. So using a blockchain, you're relying on technology, and it's much more seamless, right?
Uh, do you see there's an integration with the blockchain and the traditional payments which are used in the iGaming right now? And if yes, like what kind of integration you see could happen in the near future?
Yeah, two things there. So using a product like ours, right? I mean, I have to mention this, that we are using blockchain technology, especially on the crypto side of things, right? So we're settling some transactions using cryptocurrency. We're doing the P2P, P2 merchant also. So using a product like ours is already integrating a product like ours already getting there. But also, obviously, one could use any other crypto exchange or crypto exchange wallet, and then you will have cryptocurrencies available on your gaming site, right?
Got it. Let's talk a little bit more about the future events. So, walk us through your vision of payments in the metaverse. What will the player experience look like?
That's super exciting, I would say, and we've already looked at this. I think you probably know this. So, my my dream is to obviously have a situation where a player could walk into his favorite sports shop or his favorite casino. So once you enter in this casino on the metaverse, you're doing your verification upon entry. That verification will handle your KYC or AML, everything. You enter, you see this beautiful space, you go and play in whatever you want to play, and the payments will be seamless within the play, right? So usually today, where the user experience suffers a little bit is when you're playing your favorite game and then you're out of funds, so you have to go out, go to your cashier, top up your cashier, and then go back to your game. Maybe if you're doing a live event, the live event has gone now. So that friction would hopefully be removed completely, right? Because if you are in your metaverse, you are playing your favorite casino game, okay, ran out of money, it's one button, okay, boom, accept. The wallet is fully integrated and directly you're back in your game. Or you might be in a metaverse and seeing your favorite football team play, right? Because the metaverse is everything around you. It could be with your favorite art around you. It will be on your favorite couch. Your friends might be on the same metaverse, sitting on the couch next to you, but in reality, it's all the metaverse, right? So you can bring people together in one single space, and everything will be very seamless. So this is how my dream, let's say, favorite sports area would look like, my sports bar or something.
Let's go back to reality for a sec. What technical challenges must we solve before that virtual casino dream becomes mainstream?
Well, usually this is a bit of a legacy issue, right? Because when you have, let's say, the strongest players in the market, they'll be relying on legacy technology, so legacy platform, etc., etc. And there is also a risk that you might cannibalize your players. So I know that some of the main players are already looking at metaverses. They already have some metaverses testing here and there. But I think it's also a little bit of a shift of a mindset, right? So when you have something which is working, why break it kind of thing, right? If you're already very successful, not everyone will take the risk. And the other thing is, um, you need a different kind of approach, even from a marketing perspective, from a technology perspective, from a team perspective. So I believe that for the metaverse to become mainstream, let's say, these big players, and those are the people that have the budget to do it, will need to build nearly completely new company just focusing on the metaverse side. Now, the other big challenge is actually, again, the education, right? Because maybe me and you that are already involved in this industry, for us, it's normal to talk about the metaverse, to talk about crypto, to talk about blockchain, to talk about AI, and we kind of understand most of it. But the general population out there has no idea what we're talking about, right? You have what, 5-6% of the world that is aware of this. So there's a huge potential because the 95% is not there, which means even if you convert 1 or 2%, it's a lot of people. But in reality, we need to, again, like look at what's traditional today, offer that first on a metaverse, educate the people, and then escalate what you can offer to the people. Right? So there's a very, very huge, long-term educational process if we want this industry to go mainstream.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And sometimes when I look at the other niches, like for example, Meta and Mark Zuckerberg, they really trailblaze in this whole niche. And if the companies like these are making a bet on the future of metaverse, it feels like we're in the good company right now. Yeah. And I just wanted to
That's what
ask
we
you,
hope.
yeah, yeah, and you're quite a visionary, right? And a lot of things you guys are doing, it feels like, are on the forefront of respective niches within iGaming, finance, etc. So I just wanted to ask you a very specific question about payments and the technologies emerging in payments and iGaming right now. Which technologies excites you the most and why?
Yeah, I think what's exciting about payments, right? It's tricky to find, but I think what excites me is bringing finance and finance technology to the masses, right? And you can do that only with integrating DeFi and integrating blockchain and cryptocurrencies and removing the middlemen, basically. And this is happening already. I mean, there are some companies which are already doing it, including us. And I believe in democratizing this thing. So I believe in giving the power to the people rather than giving the power to the authority kind of thing, right? Without obviously breaking any rules, without, I'm not here to create any revolutions or anything. I'm here to give power to the people, right? If I own $100, I should have full authority on that $100. Where I use it, how I use it, when I use it, what I use it for, who I give it to, it should be in my power. And this is, I think, the big change which we're seeing in these days, especially with the introduction of cryptocurrencies and so on. So the power is going back to where it should be in reality.
Do you think the current actually situation in the iGaming, the offshore is going bigger, US market is dominated by the offshore operators, is actually like something which you just mentioned, the world is leaning towards a more, I'd say, self-driven, more free way on enjoying your favorite experience, whether it's sports betting or casino or Netflix, whatever it is. And the world is really screaming for it. And the countries like Netherlands, UK, are the fastest growing offshore markets in the world right now, is actually a testament of what you just said.
Yeah, I think that's driven by innovation. So when you are small and nimble, which are most of these countries which are running this offshore way that you mentioned, there will be smaller, younger companies, right? If you're getting a multi-million or multi-billion dollar company to make a change within that ecosystem, is going to take you months. If you're a 10-man young operator, to make a change, it takes you half an hour of the founder making a decision, right? So users out there and players and whoever is using your technology wants to try new things, wants to use more efficient ways, wants the new games, wants the new bonus structures was the last beautiful new thing, right? So I believe that part of that is driven by that innovation and nimbleness of smaller operators. Because then at the same time, obviously, if you're a huge operator, you can't afford to be running too much in the gray, let's say, right?
Yeah, and like as you mentioned, if you are a big and mainstream company, the cost of innovation and the risk of innovation is very high.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Richard. Your insights in the future of iGaming payments is really refreshing and super aligned with my own thoughts. And thank you so much for spending your time with us. And I cannot wait for everyone to enjoy this episode as well.
Thank you so much.